All right, we're going to go through some properties of equality. This is real basic and easy. This is going to start our trek into proofs, okay? All right, so get ready. So addition property of equality says that if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. Basically, if it's the same thing on both sides, you can take it away, and then A is still going to equal B. And this is easier to see when we start going through the properties. Subtraction says that if A equals B, then A minus C equals B minus C. You can subtract both sides, and then you still get A equals C. Multiplication property says that if A equals B, then AC equals BC. Same thing on both sides, you can take it away. Division property says if A equals B, then A over C equals B over C. Distributive property says if A times B plus C, then A times B plus C equals AB plus AC. I'm just distributing it out. Substitution property says that if A equals B, then A may be replaced by B in any expression or equation. So back when we evaluated last year, that we use the substitution property a lot. Reflexive, remember these three new ones from last year? Here they are. Reflexive property, for any real number A equals A. It's the same thing on both sides. Symmetric property, remember my favorite, if A equals B, then B equals A. And transitive property, this is the law of syllogism, right? It's if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. So those are my properties. So it's important to see these properties. So when we start our proofs, this is the reasoning that I use. So I'm going to talk a little bit here about what a proof table looks like. But when we use the properties of equality, they can be used to justify steps. So here's the big thing when you're starting proofs. It is all about justifying your steps. That's the most important part. So we are going to start a new two-column proof. This is very particular. Just like angles are particular in geometry, so are these proofs. So on the left side, you list the statement or steps, and on the right side, you list the reasons that justify. So this reasons, there are only certain reasons that we can use. Make sure to mark this down. Here are your reasons. You can use properties. You can use definitions. You can use postulates, which we'll talk about. And you can use theorems. That's what you can use. They have to be proven facts that we can use, and that's what we will use on our reason statement. All right, so we're going to start simple here. So look, it gives me my statement, and then I've got to prove that x equals 7. So watch how I'm doing that. My given statement is always going to be in the first one. 9 times out of 10, it's always going to be that first one. So here's my given statement. Here we go. So how did they get from here to here? Well, they added 1 on both sides. So what property is adding 1 on both sides? It's the addition property. To get from here to here, they divided both sides by 4. So what property is that? Division property. Easy so far, right? All right. These don't really get that much harder, so I'm going to try number 3. Let's start with number 3. Okay, so on the left side is my given statement, and then what is it? It's given to me. So what's the first step they did here to go from here to here? They did the distributive property. Remember, property can be a reason. To get from here to here, they subtracted 27 on both sides. So we have subtraction property. And here we divided both sides by negative 18. So now we have division property. All right. Let's go to number 5. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's my given statement. Now, here we distributed and distributed, so we did distributive property. Look at step 3. What did we do on the left-hand side, and what did we do on the right-hand side? Well, we didn't really do here, but we just simplified. So we simplify. Now from here, we subtracted 12x on both sides to get negative 15x, so that's subtraction property. I add 14 to both sides, so that's my addition property. And then I divide both sides by a negative 15 and reduce, so that's division property. You guys kind of seeing how this takes place? All right, so let's look at algebraic proofs. Actually, nothing changes. This is all the same. Try number 7 and 8. Go down to 7 and 8. Kind of the harder ones. And let's see if we get the same thing. All right, so now we have to write the statements and the proof. So statement 1 is negative 8. W plus 1 equals negative 5. W plus 10. And that's the reason is my given statement. So notice I put 1 in both sides. So 1 is the first statement and then my given statement. Step 2 is I'm going to distribute. So negative 8W minus 8 equals negative 5W minus 50. So what did I do? So I mark it 2 and I distribute. Distributive property. Yes, you must spell everything out. And now I don't need to simplify, so I'm going to go the next step, and I'm going to add 5W to both sides. So I get step 3 is going to be negative 3W minus 8 equals negative 50. And that's step 3 is addition property. Step 4, I'm going to add 8 to both sides. And I don't need to show my work, I just want you to see for the cameras. So if I add 8 to both sides, I get negative 3W equals negative 42. And that's addition property. Addition property. And step 5, I would get W equals positive 14 because I divide both sides by negative 3, so that's where I get division property. So that's what that proof looks like. All right, let's do the last one together so you can see, kind of what that looks like when you have to write them out. So again, my first one is going to be 14 minus 2 times x plus 8 equals 5x minus 3x minus 34. And step 1 is given to me. That's my given statement. Step 2, I'm going to distribute. So I keep 14. I get negative 2x minus 16 equals 5x minus 3x plus 34. So step 2, that would be distributed. Distributive property. And I know you guys are watching me in 0.5 speed, so you can really slow me down. All right, step 3 is I'm going to simplify both sides. So I'm going to get negative 2x minus 2 equals 2x plus 34. So that is my, come on in guys, that is going to be simplify. Step 4 is I'm going to bring my variable term to the left. So I'm going to subtract both sides by 2x, and I get negative 4x minus 2 equals 34. So that is my subtraction property. Step 5, I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I get negative 4x equals 36. So that's my addition property. And step 6, I'm going to get x equals negative 9, and that, of course, is my division property. So hopefully that was easy, and it gave you a first glimpse into proofs. Good luck.